James Ernest, Grueling Truth Radio Network, here with Mark Fightmaster on the UC Bearcats on the Prowl Show. Mark, tell us, who are the Bearcats going to be playing in Week 1?
Well, Week 1, they're going to be going up against UCLA with their new coach, Chip Kelly. It's going to be an interesting game, James, because, UCLA is a better team. But UCLA also suspended 6 players for this game, including their starting running back and basically their defensive stud. So it's going to be an interesting game.
So with that being said, there's a chance.
I don't know about that, but we'll see. we shall see.
There's always a chance. I mean, it's not likely to happen. It's not probably going to happen. But it at least increases the odds. Say they had a 10% chance of winning. Now they maybe have a 15% chance of winning.
Yeah, I'd give you that. I haven't seen a line on the game, so I don't know how it shifted after the suspensions were announced. But it's a road trip. Get out there, get the season going, and see what Fickle and his crew can do in their second season.
Yeah, because the neat thing about them is they had the best recruiting class you've seeded in the AAC.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I was reading a couple articles, and I think Luke Fickle's recruiting strategy is very similar to Urban Meyer's, up at Ohio State, which would make sense, but it's to swing for the fences, go big and give it a shot, and even if you don't get the top of the 5-star recruits, but if you're out there making offers to 4-star recruits and 3-star recruits, you might get them. So exactly. I like what he's doing recruiting-wise.
People hear that you're going after that guy, then they go, okay, well, you know what? If that's the type of guy they're looking at and they're looking at me, then I must be pretty good too, that kind of thing.
Yep.
So, it's a little bit of mental.
Yeah, and we talked about this last year, and even when we were previewing last year, Fickle is trying to stay close to home with a lot of his recruits, and it's working. They've got, for the life of me, I can't remember the kid's name. He's a senior this year down in Kentucky. He's basically a 5-star quarterback recruit that's committed to UC because they went after him. It's a good thing, especially considering their quarterback position is probably one of the weakest spots on the team. So
exactly.
They're trying to shore that up, and it could be a frustrating season again, just because I think there's going to be a few games on there that they may come out and be in but lose. But then there's also the chance, man, of a couple games where they just come out and get blown out.
Yeah, for example, 3 of the last 4, that Navy game, not looking forward to that. USF, not looking forward to that. UCF, definitely not looking forward to that. Like we were saying about the recruiting, not that, the recruiting automatically means, anything overnight, because it takes a while. But the fact is, USF won the national. Well, they didn't win the national title, but they won the public opinion national title. And in winning that, they still did not have a better recruiting class than UC. And of course, part of that is, their head coach went to Nebraska. But still, to be able to beat an under-30 team at something is better than nothing.
You're right. And there's some stability in the UC coaching staff. Fickle's not going anywhere for a while. They know what they're looking for, and they're going after it. And you're right, that is a very big sign that Central Florida's recruiting class was not better than ours, especially since they're recruiting Florida. So there's reason to be excited about the future. Is this year going to be tough? I think so. I don't know. Looking at the schedule, I'd say that diehard UC fans would have to be happy with a 500 record.
Oh yeah, shoot! If you can guarantee me 6-6, I will sign that right now. I'll take that deal. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? They go 6-6. Maybe there's a bowl out there that takes a reach on them.
Exactly. Yeah, because that's what they have. 6-6, they might be able to get into the, whatever the little bowl is, or actually, because I was going to say, because I'm selfish. I want the Music City Bowl. I don't know if that's the low end or not. Probably not, but that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Because that's the closest one I can think of. So I'm like, that's always my goal. Because I sure in the heck am not going to the Rose Bowl or anything like that, across country. Which, hey, that's where they're playing at.
Exactly. That's where they're playing. If you go to a big-time stadium, man, I mean, and Nippert is a great stadium.
It is.
To play. Great place to watch football. They get to go and play out there. Big stadium. You get to see how the bigger conferences live. One of the Power 5 conferences is. I think it's going to give them a lot of good experience, and they do have some young kids starting, man. And they, with a young team, get them to gel a little bit on a long road trip. I mean, that's still a 5-hour flight out there. And they get to chill on the plane and talk with each other and get to know each other better after all the stuff they've been through. It's going to help the team. It may sound silly, but the long trip is going to help the team in the long run, and they're going to become closer because of it.
Exactly. It's just realizing that this game, maybe the results aren't the most important thing, but just what it can do for the team in the long run could be big. And the interesting thing is how this rivalry kind of started with, I want to say it started more so with basketball first and then went to the football, or it might be beginning backwards. But when I think of it, I think of UC playing UCLA about 2-3 years ago in basketball, and then they played them last year as well. So just that kind of consistency they've started building, which is an interesting one to pick. Like you said, they're having to go all the way across the country to build that rivalry. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. You're right. It did start with basketball, playing each other in that, and then I'm assuming the athletic directors became familiar with each other and decided to get each other on their schedules. It's good. Yeah, you're right. Ultimately, football's measured in wins and losses, but I don't think that this is one of those games where a loss is a failure.
Exactly.
Because it gets them out there. They get to play in a big stadium. They go to a Power 5 conference school. They get to play against them. You know what? They're missing a few of their top players. You never know what's going to happen. Never know.
And they're going to be on ESPN, which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
national exposure.
Exactly. Some of the other games, it's an ESPN2, ESPN3, that kind of thing. But, being on actual ESPN is always nice.
Oh, yeah. It's great exposure for the program. I think it'll do them well. I think, like we said, there's a lot more positives than negatives that can come out of this game. Avoid big injuries, and take a shot. See if it's close, coming down to the wire, that's great, even with the team to win. But I don't think this is a game that we can measure success in wins or losses.
And then going back to like what you were saying about the quarterback and them signing the player for next season, obviously one of the big things is turning around the offense, because last year being 79th in the country in rushing and 124th in passing. So 100th overall in offense is a rough one.
Yeah, well, and you look at it and you think, oh, hey, Hayden Moore only had 9 interceptions and threw 20 touchdown passes. That's great, but wasn't enough. And the team had rushing issues. Jared Dokes is coming back. He was one of their leading rushers last year. He had 513 yards. Averaged 5.9 yards a carry, so he didn't carry it much. He also was out for the last few games. But it's the offense. I think to say they were anemic last year would be kind.
Yeah, there were times it was just painful. And I'm trying to think if it was last. Yeah, I think it was. Well, actually, because last year and the year before, even though I know they were completely different regimes, still had a lot of that same feel to it at times. Because there were, when they were getting their head kicked in, it was kind of hard to get excited, because you knew it was either going to be 3 and out or it was going to be a turnover, which, like you said, there weren't that many of them, but it felt like there were more. Maybe the other quarterbacks had a lot of interceptions.
Well, they did, but also at the wrong times, man. At the wrong times. perception becomes reality. And when you see a lot of turnovers at the wrong time, it sucks. It really kind of just kills you. But they've just got to get something done on offense. Their defense wasn't great, but their defense wasn't horrible. They gave up 31 points a few times. But, they were on the field a lot too. When your offense is going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, your defense is going to be out there for a long time. And with some of the teams they have to play against, that's horrible.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I'm concerned about the offensive line because how many that was the crazy part about it. We didn't have a great offense last year, but 2 or 3 of the offensive line are still on NFL camps, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there must have been some talent there.
Yeah, there was. I don't know if it was a scheme thing or what, but looking at their offensive line this year, they've got it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Hold on a second. Left guard, center. Okay, they don't have a tackle listed on their on this initial depth chart. 3 of the 4 they've got listed are seniors, and the others are junior. And so we'll see what happens with the offensive line. So they just got to step it up.
Yeah, that is concerning. The fact is, can I call dibs? Can I be the left tackle?
Yeah, go ahead.
But you should definitely have a left tackle. That's an important thing. I'm not. I don't know if that's a typo or just because they're still deciding.
I'm guessing they're still deciding because it looks like their second string right tackle is a junior. Their second string left tackle is a freshman. So that could be, they could be battling it out a little bit to see. So, this was updated. Yeah, it was updated this morning. So it's, but so you got a senior heavy front 5 at least. Even if the freshman ends up playing, it's still 3 out of the 5 that are seniors and junior. So 4 out of the 5 are upperclassmen. They're gonna have to get the job done. There's no 2 ways about it. They've got to step up and get it going for this team.
And then, on the bright side, they do have some offensive weapons back. With the Lewis, who has got potential. He did make some big plays from time to time.
Oh yeah, he's got a ton of potential. But it's funny because, thinking of what I've heard some coaches say, potential is just another word for
swear word,
for potential failure.
Exactly.
So they're going to have to get it done. But like you said, it all starts up front. If Hayden Moore is running for his life, it doesn't do us a lot of good having great receivers because he may not be able to get it to him.
And then my other concern, of course, with the offense, because along with Chip Kelly, he's known for his offense, being an offensive guru for the Bruins, but they had that Jerry Azamore, who's a great defensive coordinator. So it'd be interesting to see what we can build against his defense. Like we said, they're still bonding, they're still working things out on the offense, so it'll be an interesting one.
Yeah, it's again the measuring stick. Obviously, is always wins or losses, but I think if they can keep this close.
Exactly, because I feel the best way they're going to be able to keep it close is having a low-scoring game, because the higher the scoring game it is, the worse it's going to be. So, if it's 20, to 24, then it'll be good. But if it gets up to the 30s or 40s, it's going to be still 14 to 40. It's not going to be 34 to 40. They're just not going to be able to keep up.
Right. Right. This is not a this is not what you would call a high-powered offense,
Exactly.
So,
and especially with around and being in defense.
Yeah,
they're going to hang their hat on that, I would think.
Right. Yeah. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but let's just see what happens. This is still Luke Fickell working with some of Tommy Tuberville's recruits.
Exactly.
We sat here and we talked for a few minutes about how he's swinging for the fences on his recruits. Tuberville never swung for the fences. Tuberville. What's that?
The area where I hear they are supposed to be pretty solid, though, is the defensive line. I've heard really good things.
Yeah, I've heard good things about the defense, too. Hopefully they can get some pressure on.
Because like Marquise Copeland is supposed to be really tough for them. Mm-hmm. And Cortez.
Broughton, yeah.
Broughton, yeah. So, I mean, I've heard really good things there.
And if the UCLA is missing their top running back, their senior running back, Moso, I forget his name. It's Jamoso or something like that. Hold on, I can look it up. I got it on one of my screens here. It is Soso Jamabo. So I was close. But without him, who are they going to rely on at running back? And what's, and then what are, can they put pressure on the quarterback?
Very true.
So.
And I think it'll be interesting, like we were talking about the recruiting class, because it's nice to see, and I'm surprised he's already in the backup on the depth chart, because I was thinking, should red shirt, or he might not, play much the first year. But the big German kid, the 6'9" or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like seeing him on there. Surprised the heck out of him.
Yeah, so it could be good. It could be good. We'll see. So, yeah.
So they got some potential. Obviously, special teams should be solid because they usually have pretty good kickers. It's just one of those things that they're known for.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, we'll see how the special teams do. Their punters as a sophomore. We'll see what happens. They've always performed well, kicking wise.
Exactly. Let's see, and then of course, just kind of a quick rundown of the schedule. Not going to go into detail on all the other games, but kind of a little breakdown. We got next game will be on the road, air quotes on the road, and Paul Brown. Yeah, I was going to say it's actually closer to UC than Miami. But then again, it's kind of the same thing when they have like the hockey events and they have them down at U.S. Bank Arena. And of course, UC is closer to U.S. Bank Arena than Miami, but Miami is always the home for there for some reason. They must be doing a good job. And then let's see. Then UC finally does get their home game on September 15th against Alabama A&M, which I kind of understood that matchup a couple years ago when our defensive coordinator, when he was from Alabama A&M, but now it's just kind of an odd, still sticking around. You would think they would move on to somebody else. And then we got the Bobcats, so we got a nice local matchup as well. They're only about 3 hours away, and they're coming to Nippert, so we got 2 in a row. Of course, then we start with a conference with UConn and Tulane and Temple. Mm-hmm. And those are winnable games. They're not, none of these are give-me's by any stretch. And then, of course, SMU, who's coming off, some issues because SMU has just always got issues. Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, shoot those next 3 games, the Navy one, the USF, and the UCF can be tough. And then ending the season on a Friday night, which is kind of an interesting one.
Yeah, and that's a winnable game. That last one, East Carolina. That's one that they can win. So we'll see how it finishes.
Exactly.
We'll see how it finishes.
So after you do your Black Friday shopping, go see East Carolina, Pirates at the UC. Yeah. That'd be fun. That could be pretty neat. Let's see. But other than that, it should be an interesting season. I think it's going to be an improved season. Like you said, even though I know they count everything in wins and losses, that might not be the area, like we said last year, where you see the big improvement. It might be more so in the small details. It might be more of the little things that you notice. But as long as it keeps progressing the right way, And then, like you said, he keeps signing those big recruits that he signed before, and then with the young quarterback coming in next year. So yeah, there's got some upside to it.
There is. It'll be fun. It'll be good. Again, it's not about the wins and losses. It's about progress.
Exactly. So I would like to thank fans for joining us.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, wait. We should give a score. What we think.
Oh, geez. Okay. Let's see. I think UCLA 31, UC 21.
Yeah, and I say 35-17 UCLA.
Okay. Yeah, good.
But,
I like
so
that
I know
one too.
Yeah, so somewhere around there. Obviously, it's going to look like a big. And the big thing is it more how it feels or how it that
right.
kind of thing. Because if you're
that's
watching
a good way to put it.
Exactly. If they're in the game and they feel like they have a chance, and then all of a sudden it gets away from them, that's fine. But if they're just not in it at all, they're just kind of lackadaisical, then that's a big issue, especially in week one.
Yes. Yep.
Hopefully they get it all figured out. But I'd like to thank you all for listening to the Gruel and Truth Radio Networks, UC Bearcats on the Prowl, and also would like to mention that we now have shirts at CincyShirts.com. Go check out Cincy Shirts, get a Gruel and Truth T-shirt, and support the Gruel and Truth Radio Network. So Thank you all for joining us.
All right.
There we go.
Cool.
I couldn't put, because you don't. Hit stop. Stop. Okay, it did stop. Yeah, because I'm like, I hit stop. Did it actually stop at that thing? Because they changed it up. Because you used to just be, you hit recording and you hit off or something. And,
yeah.
Who knows? Anyway.
Cool, man.
Cool. I will talk to you later, buddy. And
all right, sounds good, brother.
Have a good one.
You too, man. See ya.